And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, Piggy.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Sorry with the box, what was in the box?
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh,
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
And Houston, we still have a problem. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into 52/1995, your live movie conversation podcast where we dive deep into the movies of 1995. I'm your host, Cody, and I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my fantastic and lovely mustachioed co-host, Spencer. Welcome in, Spencer. Look at that thing.
Thank you so much. It's the first time in 2025 I've been on the stream. Feels like it's been a while.
It has been a while. It's only our third movie, so you haven't missed a lot. But we are glad to have you here. For those who are tuning in for the first time, we're so glad that you're here and not anywhere else. But every week, 52 of those weeks to be exact, we explore a different film from the year 1995. It could be a classic hit, a quirky gem, somewhere right in the middle where we're not sure what it is. But anyway, we dive into these important releases. We talk about them in detail, chat with the guest about their thoughts with the movie, and then maybe ask them what they've been watching. And we like to have the chat do that along with us. We look to you guys to help with some of the content as we talk through this. We do these on a theme-by-theme basis. Usually they're for a full month, but this month we have already covered a couple of bomb movies, and then we moved into this month's theme, which is called You're in the Game, where the movies that we are talking about are all centered around games. This is only a two-part series for the year 1995, which is okay. But today's movie of choice is Jumanji. But before we jump into this week's movie, let's talk to Spencer a little bit. Spencer, thank you again for joining us. Have you seen the film that we're talking about today?
Oh, my God. I've seen this movie no less than 100 times. The drumbeat of the game is seared into my brain, as are other parts. I've seen this one so many times, but I've only seen the new one once. So, if that tells you anything about the new one. But yeah, no, I loved this movie growing up. I wore out the VHS. It was, it was a staple. That was one of my go-tos was this game. Or this movie, sorry.
Yeah, it's crazy. I have the VHS. I'm not even playing it behind us right now. Did you have the clamshell or did you have the regular box? Do you remember?
Now that you mention it, I'm not entirely sure. I wonder if my mother remembers. I don't know. I really don't. I think I had the clamshell, but I don't want to,
I had the clamshell, definitely. I honestly, when I picked up this one, it looks like it's in that case, which surprised me. But on the label of it, it looks like a bootleg copy. That might be a bootleg copy. I have no idea. I
do. I've got a lot of bootleg. Well, mine are mostly DVDs, but
I have so many bootleg DVDs.
Okay, we'll get to it. Never mind.
Okay, Okay, so you've seen this movie 100 times. What are some of the things that really stick out to you about it? Like, what are some things that you remember about it or remember fondly?
Yeah, so, and it's kind of weird, some of the things I remembered, like I vividly remember about it. Like one includes, and we'll get to like these scenes too, but like the shredded up shoe, I'll never be able to forget that. For some reason, the texture and like the look and feel of the mud when they're digging out the game in the ground is like very, very vivid. They did it really well, so I guess that's why. David Alan Grier and his car. Of course, the lion coming through the door, the big old vines, Monkey Boy, like all that shit is like just, I don't know. How could you forget it? This is such an iconic movie. and I feel like it's very unique. Of course, it's based on a book, but it's just one of the more unique movies with a unique subject, unique just everything. Because like, how do you even contain this within a genre with everything that's going on? I think that's why it sticks out so much to me.
Yeah. Um, I think some of the stuff that you just mentioned, like the feel, like you can that mud, it is iconic, I believe. The shoe, things like that. I remember like the blood on his shirt and like the blood, like that bully sticks out to me so at Billy Jessup.
I was gonna
I
bring that up too.
Yeah, like when I was watching, that kid didn't go on to do anything else. I'm pretty sure. Like he looks so familiar to me,
I
and
thought I read where there was one thing he did, and ironically, he was actually bullying victim in the other thing he did.
oh, okay, okay. Yeah, he really sticks out to me from this movie, and remembering that also that opening scene with like the 1869 really sticks out to me.
I
Um,
actually did not like that scene as much on this rewatch. I thought it was kind of cheesy. I don't know.
Oh, I agree with you. I think it's cheesy, but like there's some lines in there that really stick out that I was quoting as I would like silently to myself as the scene was going on, much like I do with any of these movies that are tend to be more nostalgic.
Oh, of
So
course. And and there are some things that I've on rewatch I've discovered or have questions about, or I don't know, things like that. Like, first of all, I think this may be, I've had like a career long dislike of Kirsten Dunst for no reason. And I think it comes from her playing the whiny daughter, because this was like the first thing and the most thing I've seen her in. And it just drove me crazy. But at the same time, like, she plays it well. And then David Allen Greer, I think this is where my love of him came from. And now he looks so young in this movie, and now he's in what, St. Denis Medical, if you've seen that.
yeah,
So he's still doing stuff. And then the question I had was, Jonathan Hyde, did he play a very similar character in Richie Rich? Because I've only seen that a handful of
he's the
times.
butler in Richie
Okay,
Rich.
okay, I couldn't remember. Okay,
Yeah,
I do remember him in Anaconda though.
who is he in Anaconda? Is he just
Yeah, I mean, one of the
one of the
hooligan
ones that
guys on the
die?
boat. Yeah,
I was about to say only two people live in that movie, so the
yeah,
important ones anyway.
yeah. Of course, of
Um,
course.
and okay, so this movie has had a couple remakes. We'll talk about not remakes, but like new whatever. I think I would rather this be remade. I like the. I don't know if you're a fan of the new ones or not. They weren't bad, and obviously moved it into like a more digital um, aspect. It's a video game now, but I kind of dig the idea of a remake in this.
I kind of hate that you say that though, because on the one hand, this movie's already good. But on the other hand, we need way more original cinema, because if I have to see another remake, another sequel, prequel, anything like that, it's going to drive me insane.
Okay, I get that. I get that. But I'm saying if we needed to. Well, they can't come
Yeah,
up with
yeah.
good ideas, so
I mean, it would
um
be a good remake, though. It would,
yeah.
but
I
not
don't know.
again, not
I think
advancing.
I think mostly I just like the idea of the board game versus a video game.
100%.
Yeah. Zathura remake, please. That's funny.
We'll,
I never
we'll
saw
we'll get to that.
Zathura. Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Okay, so let me go ahead and introduce the movie and go through my little stats and everything, and then we can talk through this movie as we see fit. So again, the name of the movie is Jumanji. It came out December 15th of 1995, so just made it under the cut there. It is directed by Joe Johnston, who is probably most famous for movies like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, October Sky, Captain America, the first Captain America movie. So I kind of feel like Joe Johnston is like a poor man's Robert Zemeckis a little bit. He's doing things with like technology and CGI, like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and this, and The Rocketeer was such a good movie. And if you haven't seen The Rocketeer, I think you should go back and watch that movie.
But
Whereas like
could he pull off a VR filing system though?
could he? I don't know. Maybe. As long as Demi Moore doesn't sneak up behind you in the system. Who knows?
Exactly.
This movie was written by three guys, Jonathan Hensley, Greg Taylor, and Jim Strain. It is based on the book by Chris Van Allsburg, who, for your sake, Spencer, is also the creator of the Polar Express. Chris
No
Van
shit.
Allsburg. Yeah, he wrote the book, The Polar Express. He also wrote Jumanji and
I had
Zathura.
no idea. That's incredible. Okay, I'll have to let Kingsley know. He won't care.
He won't care at all. Anyway, this cast is kind of a small cast, honestly. Robin Williams is in this movie as Alan Parrish, the older version of him. Adam Hanbird plays him as a younger self. We've got Bonnie Hunt as Sarah Whittle, the older version of Sarah Whittle. Her younger self is played by Laura Bell Bundy. Then we've got Kirsten Dunst as Judy Shepard. We've got Bradley Pierce as Peter Shepard, the kids that are in this movie. We've got, let's see here, David Alan Grier, as we've mentioned, as Carl Bentley. We've got Jonathan Hyde, that we've been talking about, as Van Pelt, and as Sam Parrish, Alan's dad. B.B. Newworth's in this as Nora Shepard. She's the aunt of Peter and Judy. And Patricia Clarkson is Carol Parrish, Alan's mother. You've probably seen her in a lot more things after this. She's very familiar, but barely any speaking in this movie. And
Can
let's
I-
see. Yep.
Can
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
confess some embarrassing things that I discovered upon watching this movie? One is the fact that I feel very stupid, but growing up, I never made the connection that the dad was also Van Pelt. And I don't
Well, that's
know
what
why.
he was worried about.
I just didn't make that connection as a kid. But I mean, props to them. They crushed it on that. I just went right over my head. And then, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's one of the things that I actually like about this, about that role, is that he's playing both Van Pelt and his dad. But that's a fun fact. I didn't write it down, but I do remember reading it while I was doing some research that the reason he didn't want to play both parts was because he just didn't want kids to see him he didn't want to be seen as both of those people, which if we were kids and we didn't notice, I think that they accomplished it with the makeup and everything. But I love the idea that they're the same person, and he has to essentially do battle with his dad and Van Pelt and himself.
I feel like it gives it a lot deeper meaning too, especially the terms that they left on before he got, sucked into the board game. But the other embarrassing thing, and I don't know, but I didn't realize Carl Bentley's nickname was Soul Man like that, like your spell. I just thought just like Soul Man, just because he was, I don't know, stereotypical nickname for, his character.
No, sorry. It is even a better nickname because of his. He essentially created the basketball, the Nike shoe as we know and love it today.
Jordan.
He's the Soul Man. The synopsis for this movie, if you haven't already watched it or don't know anything about it, but I'll give you this one that I pulled directly from Google. It says that a magical board game unleashes a world of adventure on siblings Peter and Judy. While exploring an old mansion, the youngsters find a curious jungle-themed game called Jumanji in the attic. When they start playing, they free Alan Parrish, who's been stuck in the game's inner world for decades. If they win Jumanji, the kids can free Alan for good, but that means braving giant bugs, ill-mannered monkeys, and even stampeding rhinos. Whew, that was tough to read. I'm struggling. My tongue hurts. Budget and box office. So the budget for this movie was $65 million. It made $100.5 million. Pretty modest. Definitely got its money back there. And then did $262 million altogether. So pretty good return here. This movie had a Rotten Tomatoes score of 52%. IMDb and Letterboxd, because those are more of a viewer-friendly scoring systems. IMDb is at 7.1. Letterboxd is at 3.6 out of 5. IMDb's out of 10. Roger Ebert, who you hated this movie. He said Jumanji is being promoted as a jolly holiday season entertainment with ads that show Robin Williams with a twinkle in his eye. The movie itself is likely to send younger children fleeing from the theater or hiding in their parents' arms. Those who do sit all the way through it are likely to toss and turn with nightmares inspired by its frightening images. 1.5 stars out of 4. Roger Ebert.
One and a half?
1.5. He did not like this movie. Yeah.
Trash.
Nell Smith, though, of the BBC said, take away the CGI mayhem, and what emerges is rather a touching tale of second chances and innocence prematurely lost.
There you go. Roger didn't get it. He just didn't get it.
He didn't get it. A bit of a legacy with this movie. We've already kind of hinted at that with some of the things that we've already talked about. So, spiritual sequel in the Chris Van Allsburg book, Zathura, which was made into a movie in 2005. We have the Jumanji, the most recent Jumanjis, which are the video game ones, Welcome to the Jungle, and its sequel, The Next Level. There is another sequel that is planned for 2026. There was also an animated show. I actually really enjoyed this animated show. It was on TV from 1996 to 1999. It takes place with the kids being more they get transported into Jumanji, and they have to deal with a lot of the problems in the jungle with Alan there. I never
saw that.
Yeah, I don't think Sarah is in the cartoon. There was also a board game, smartly produced by Milton Bradley, and then again they reproduced it in 2017. And there's been several video games that have been made of it, mostly like PC games and stuff. So, did I miss anything? I nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, you did nail it.
So, let's dive into our movie discussion. Let's talk about some of the best scenes in this movie, what really stands out that make it memorable.
Well, first of all, just booting this movie up, it goes so fucking hard. Like, looking back, obviously, like I said, the opening scene to me isn't the best, but like that Jumanji flies in like that, and you're like, oh shit, here we go. Like, we're getting ready. And it starts off pretty quick. So that was pretty good. I mean, a pretty good idea because, kids don't have the greatest attention span. So they didn't really waste any time getting into the point. But my first scene is one we've kind of already talked about, and that was the shoe shred scene. Very hard to say. Shoe shred scene.
Shoe shred. Wow. I was like, what did you just say? Shred?
Sorry. No, and something I never caught before in that scene is a Wilt Chamberlain reference. I never caught that before, and rewatching it, I heard it and I was like, all right. Like, because he said if Wilt Chamberlain wears these, they'll sell out around the country. I was like, damn. So it really is like the original Jordan.
The original Jordan, yeah. That's really what it was.
Also,
I liked it.
Moves back to the time. So,
yeah. And this is, you get a lot of like the context for the struggle between Alan and facing his fears and facing his dad and all that stuff within this like shoe shredding scene. Shoe shred. That is very hard to say. You're right. Watch it. Yeah, this is the Billy Jessup scene where he gets jumped by 6 guys. What the heck?
On banana seat bicycle.
I love him peering out the window and looking at these kids just throwing and kicking dirt on his bicycle. I'm just
circling around.
It also establishes that Alan comes from privilege. The parishes pretty much own that. You see a lot of things, like there's a statue of a parish there. We've got the parish shoe factory. That's all really established early on.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, and then later, whenever they're talking to him about Cliffside School for Boys, which sounds terrible, by the way, he looks in there and he sees that there's a hall named after a parish, and he's like, Jesus, like he don't want to be a part of it.
Mm-mm. They already hate him in this town for being a parish. They're gonna hate him there once they live in a building named after him. Yeah. This is also where he finds the game. Which, when we're talking about like sights and like feels and look and stuff, when he like tilts the game up and the dirt like falls off, I think that is so cool looking.
Me too. That was sick. When I saw that again, like, I mean, I've probably, like I said, I've seen it 100 times, but I saw it again on the rewatch, and I was like, God, that scene goes so hard. They did so good on some of this stuff.
It's crazy. The Dirt does that again in something else. Like there's like a sign or something. The dirt like falls. I don't know how. It just looks cool. I don't know what it is. It just looks cool.
They did it without it being like super cheesy too.
Yeah. Yes, and Dad was like, "Yeah, you gotta face your fears, Alan." And he didn't know that he was about to get jumped by all those dudes. That's crazy.
What a good intention.
What else? What else are we missing from this? The shoe shreds.
Shred scene. I don't think much other than like you mentioned the blood. Like I think he had a bloody nose or cheek or whatever they had. But he, I thought that was again another really vivid thing. And then he goes home. And of course, his mom is like, "Oh, it happened again. You got bullied again." Like, damn, mom, do something. And then, meanwhile, Dad's just practicing his shitty little rich man speech. I'm like, y'all suck, dude. Like, it tracks because he comes from privilege, and that's kind of the stereotypical "don't pay attention to your son" type trope. But it made a lot of sense. And speaking of like the richness and like their mansion. Just a side note, I really loved the library and the staircase in this house. I thought it was really cool.
I'm trying to remember the library and the staircase. Oh,
well, the library. Library comes from the stampede scene.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you remember the staircase.
Yeah, the staircase sticks out. That like study or not study, sitting room or whatever that they play the game in. I really like that too. I do like whenever he decides to run away from home, he grabs bread, pickles, and peanut butter, maybe?
Essentials, man.
You got the essentials. That's all he needed. But then this girl shows up at his door to bring him his bike, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play a game?" I'm running away, but...
Right? It's so weird. It's like, I found this game in the dirt. I was going to run away, but you're here.
I found this game in the dirt. Do you want to kiss?
It's under the couch. I mean, that's not weird at all.
No. I do like I just love this game. I think it is so cool looking.
100%. And that the pieces are like magnetic or whatever you want to call them, and they just go like... to the board is just sick.
That is so cool. I really wish they would have sold these copies or versions of this. Obviously, you can't have like the little center thing be cool. I did play the original.
I had a game. I had a Jumanji game just like this. And so instead of you mentioned them, did you have the game too?
Yeah, my best friend Andy had the game.
Did you? I'm wondering if we had the same one where it had so the middle like piece was essentially like a red card reader, and the card you put in, it almost looked like a QR code, and you like, yes, okay, good.
There, and it like deciphered it for you. I remember those things. Yeah,
that problem. I did not even have that in my notes. You talking about it just reminded me. I totally forgot I had that.
Yeah. I think I saw this in theaters. I think I saw it with my friend Andy, and that's when he was like, he got it for Christmas or something. It
was a fun game.
Yeah. It was cool. I wish stuff would have popped out for real. Except for those mosquitoes, man.
Oh, I've got something for you later about all that.
Okay. All right. Well, he gets sucked into the game. That's my next thing. Like the whole getting sucked into the game thing is pretty crazy. They play, two turns? That's all it is. She goes first, and then the bats are in the fireplace, and then he goes and gets sucked into the game. And I didn't notice. Did you notice? Because I kept reading it in the notes. He's like screaming for her to roll the dice.
Oh, I didn't. That's actually kind of terrifying.
Hear it either. I didn't hear it either, and I'm not sure it exists. I'll have to rewatch it. But yeah, supposedly as his like spirit is going into the game or whatever, he's like, roll the dice.
Oh shit! Oh my gosh, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
This is one of the effects, though, that is not very good. I know it's a sign of the times, but like his fingers like going, I'm like, all right, like could have done a little different.
what do you think's better? This, the graphics in this, or the graphics in Disclosure?
Well, definitely this. Definitely
No,
this.
maybe you know how they remaster things. Do you think they could go back and just like redo the CG and make it a little bit better?
They could do that, yeah. I think
Surely,
they could do
right?
that. I'd be down with that. I will say, some of these effects seem kind of ahead of their time. I know you probably won't agree with it, but there's one scene in particular that I'll mention later that I thought was actually really cool upon looking back at it.
I do think though that in my research, what I saw was that this was one of the first ones that they did with like putting, you know, how those people wear those like dots on their face to do the
Yeah,
facial stuff. I
the
think this is
motion
one of the
capture.
yeah, the motion capture stuff. I think this is one of the first ones to use the facial version of that. So that
Interesting.
seems
Okay.
pretty before its time. I don't think a lot of movies were doing that. So the vines do look very awesome, very reminiscent of like Little Shop of Horrors to me. With that, I love the puppet stuff too. Like even that little bat that's on her shoulder. Whenever
Oh,
she's running out of the house, it's just like.
dude, that was one of my. What did I put on here? Was it? I thought I had it as like one of my biggest laughs. I don't know. I can't find it right now. But I loved whenever the bat like screamed in her face. It was just like, "Rah!" And she was like,
Yeah. Also, chill out, older Alan. She was a 13, 12-year-old girl getting chased out of the house by bats, and he got sucked into the game.
So
Chill out.
that's another thing I had was like when I was little, I did not like Sarah Whittle, like the older Sarah's character at all. But now watching it, I can like super relate to it because how fucking insane would that be? Somebody that disappeared 26 years ago just walks into your living room and starts playing this haunted game.
And she has to explain to all those people as a child. Like, I'm sure she was committed for, like, she basically says that. Like, I had to, you know,
Yeah.
just get over it. Years of therapy, and thanks for that. You got sucked into a board game and nobody believed me. What am I supposed to do? So
God.
it's crazy. Yeah, there's mental health. It's a thing in 1995. What's your next scene? Because I got getting sucked into the game.
I've got a lot, but one of mine isn't even like one particular scene. It's just like a series that they keep going back to, and that's every time the the cop's car keeps getting fucked up. The comedic effect of it all just gets me every time because like it's just every single time something goes wrong with his car, and it's just so funny.
And it starts with Alan jumping on it.
Yeah, yeah. He jumps on, and then the monkey shoots through the roof, and then you've got the vines pull it into the woods. He crashes it
Yeah,
into the store. Like it's a bunch of stuff.
a lot of stuff. The next we don't get um, we don't get Robin Williams for 26 minutes into this movie. The star of this movie is not even in it for 26 whole minutes,
Well, I
and this
mean,
is only an hour and a half movie.
yeah,
I just
but I
think
mean,
that's pretty interesting.
it is. I mean, it speaks to the effect he has on any movie he's in. I mean, he's top talent, like no joke. He is probably one of the greatest actors of our time, especially when it comes to improv. So it's not surprising that he could. I mean, he could come in for 5 or 10 minutes and have an immediate effect on a movie, change it from grossing 10 million to 20 million. Probably.
I do think though that this is one of the least Robin Williams-y roles that I've ever seen.
100%.
Because you do expect that from him, those zany one-liners and a lot of improv and voices and all those things. Even in more dramatic roles, he gets those opportunities to kind of improv and stuff. And apparently that wasn't a part of what this was going to be. The director was really worried about Robin Williams being in this movie because of that. And he had a discussion with him. He was like, "Hey, this is pretty much like bam, bam, bam. This is how we're going to do it. Here's where you can improv."
Honestly, understandably so too. I feel like if I were like directing or just overseeing this movie in general, like, and somebody was like, "Yeah, let's hire Robin Williams," I'd be like, "God, that sounds exhausting." Like,
Yeah, sounds
I
like a
have a
lot.
script, and this isn't gonna work.
So we get introduced to Judy and Peter. And we learn a lot about Judy and Peter pretty quickly. Their parents died in a car wreck. They have their aunt Nora, Nora, yeah, who just moved in and bought this house that's been, I guess, vacant since '91. So only for 4 years, but got this house, this mansion. I don't know what she does. She has to be somewhat wealthy.
Well, I just kind of assumed that they inherited their parents' money after they died. I don't know.
But
I think that was
independent. She seems wealthy. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just BB Newirth to me. She just seems like she's got money.
I don't know why I assumed that.
And also, why move to this town that is just dilapidated, with all these dilapidated buildings and like businesses don't work, and just interesting.
Yeah, that was odd. But the scene you did mention, like them and Nora, the scene where and you might have this on your list. Do you the Kirsten Dunst scene with the realtor?
No, but I love the Kirsten Dunst lies all the time. I think her and Peter have a really good relationship, or have a good chemistry together as brother and sister. Like
they do really well.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah. But when she fake cries in front of that realtor and then walks off laughing, and again, I'm not a big Kirsten Dunst fan. I'm kind of a hater, but she did really well in really this whole movie. I thought she did well, especially when it comes to being a child actor, which I don't usually care for.
Apparently, they were brother and sister in a made-for-TV movie. That was in my notes too. So they previously have chemistry, so they were pretty cool with working together.
Wonder if he has a tail in that one too.
I don't think so. It was about the Ruby Ridge shoot off, so
they could have.
Who knows? Maybe there was a tail involved. The tale as old as time. Oh, but anyway, Judy and Peter start playing the game. And they find the game, the drums. They hear the drums and everything. And as they're boom, 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 boom. As they're hearing the drums or whatever, Peter is acting like he's not hearing the drums. But Judy gets in bed with him that night, and this is the first time I think we get Peter talking, and he's like, they're going to put you in a mental institution if you don't stop lying. And she says, where do you think they're going to put you if you don't start talking? I don't know. I really like their interaction together.
Yeah,
they're good. Good child acting, I think, in this.
Honestly, yeah, I was surprised. I'll say that there was some lines and some things that they did and said that kind of annoyed me, but I think that's just me being kind of a grumpy old man. But no, I mean, especially, given what kind of movie this was and what they had to do, I thought it was really good. And then, especially with that one kid having to get in the friggin' monkey makeup. And
gosh,
then
3 to 4 hours? Jeez.
Yeah, then carry out and perform, after that. I'll give him kudos for that.
One thing I always will remember, again, we're talking about certain textures in the movie or certain sights that we see. Him going, Judy! Him saying that, it's oh gosh, it's like ASMR. Judy!
You liked that? Because that's one of my annoyances, because I was like, you whiny little
But I remember it so vividly.
It's true. It's true. It worked, I guess. I hated that. And dude, I cannot get that out of my brain. In this movie, somebody brings this movie up, and that line's definitely part of my remembering this movie. Judy! I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude.
He just tried to win the game. They start playing the game, and we get, what do we get first? We get
was it mosquitoes?
Mosquitoes, and then monkeys, and
then lion. No, it couldn't have been. It couldn't have been because there's only 2 of them, so it only had to have been 2 things.
No, he gets a third turn because he rolls doubles.
Oh, look at you! Okay, you're right. Okay.
Yeah. So he rolls again. He tries to pass the dice to her. She's like, no, you roll doubles. So he rolls a 5, and then he gets a lion, and then we get Alan. Yeah. The monkeys, are funny throughout.
They are. They're also interesting looking.
They look like the aliens from Mars Attacks.
I haven't seen it. I do know what you're talking about, though.
There's a couple times they do close-ups of a monkey's face, and I'm just like, ugh, and I
Yeah.
almost expect them to go ack 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 ack. And the mosquitoes are so scary to me.
They are. They are, to me, they are one of the more terrifying consequences when it comes to this movie. And that brings me to my next scene, if you don't mind me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, and it's honestly not even that important of a scene, but you'll understand why it was kind of seared into my brain. So the woman's car that they steal, that she has, that bite on her, as the EMTs say when they're taking her away. But the way that they put her in the back of the EMT of the ambulance, and her feet are like bouncing around, and you hear it squeaking, it just always stuck in my head and cracked me up because they're just like. But then, of course, like the mosquitoes coming through like the cloth top and then through the windshield, that was
the
very
windshield.
terrifying.
Yeah, the windshield. That was I did not like that. No, I like Alan. When Alan comes back, he's dressed in that whole like get up, that Tarzan outfit, whatever thing. And he just starts running through town like he's Forrest Gump, and he just starts running everywhere. We get the scene with him and David Alan Grier, but then the monkeys or whatever. But then he goes to his factory. I've got to find my dad. And he thinks that his dad. He thinks his dad is upstairs.
Your impression is so good.
And then that bum is just living in the old factory.
Dude, that bum seemed nice as hell, though.
He did seem nice. I mean, for somebody to break into my home, and he was super kind to that kid.
He reminded me. He reminded me of the old man in Home Alone
Marley.
that they were.
I was going to say that. There's a couple Home Alone moments in this movie, but yes, he does. His voice even sounds like old man Marley.
Yeah, and I was also disappointed. You mentioned Robin Williams, kind of being dressed up and all that, like coming out of the jungle as a wild man. I was disappointed, and I always was, that he shaved and cut his hair because I thought he looked like super cool as like a wild man.
I mean, that's after like a day of not shaving for Robin Williams. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
That man is hairy, and you get to see him in all his hairy legs and everything. That's
true.
A hairy man.
I bet, they had to wait like 5 days, and they were like, "All right, you're jungled out.
You're all jungled." No, Alan just kind of having to come to terms with being gone for 26 years and not coming back to his 1969. Like, what did he think was going to happen? You think if he did come back to 1969 as a 40-year-old man, his dad wouldn't be like, "What the hell?"
Like, you freak, get out of my house.
Yeah, what'd you do to my son? Like, that guy's gonna
I will say one part that I don't remember, and that, of course, now on the rewatch I saw experience for the first time. Whenever he sees the toilet, I'd never remember the line of him saying, "Oh God, thank you, no more banana leaves."
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Never remembered that.
It's good. What's your next scenes?
The next one I've got is, the first plant scene, and then of course the subsequent plant scenes where like it gets Carl's car and stuff. Like somebody mentioned.
Is that what yours is just plant scenes till the end of the movie? I'm just really into plant.
No, it's not that I'm really into. Somebody mentioned in the comments, it's like it was super cool. Like it was crazy and like terrifying, but also like these massive plants that are growing at an incredible rate. It's just, I don't know, it's wild shit. It really is super original wild shit.
Yeah. What about like the purple ones too? Like that one at the end that we don't see, that shoots the barbs at you. Oh God.
Yeah. So it's not just, they're not just going to come get your ankles. They're going to shoot barbs and like try to suck you into the fireplace, into a little booty hole looking plant.
I was about to say, there's that booty hole plant.
Dude, that was wild. What they showed bare hole just on that plant. And I think that should have bumped it up a rating, to be honest.
that booty hole plant is worth a half star at least.
No, I'm saying that's PG-13 material right there.
Oh, okay. Well, that's one of the things that Roger Ebert said that he was like, this should have been a PG-13 movie because it was so dark and scary. Thank you for the follow, City Clicker, for joining us. If that vine can crush a car, no way Peter could get away from that plant early on.
He used
Maybe
an
it was a
axe.
lesser vine. It was just growing at the beginning.
He used an axe.
I don't know. No, early on. Not the axe scene.
No?
No, because the axe doesn't come until the end of the movie when Peter goes out to the shed to get the axe.
No,
right?
no. There's another axe scene.
So
Remember,
there's more axes?
There's two. There's the other axe is where he's in Sarah Whittle's house, and he breaks in case of emergency. He says, "Sorry, so and so," and breaks it, and then cuts him from the booty hole plant.
That wasn't Sarah's house. They go back to the Jumanji house.
Oh well, wherever it was, there's definitely two axe scenes though.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Not maybe.
I don't.
It's not maybe. I'm right.
No, but Chad's right. It was a baby. It was a baby plant early on, so not as strong.
I guess
That's what I would say.
Fair enough.
My next two scenes are just the grocery store. The first one was a sword. That's right. It was a sword.
Okay. My bad.
The fireplace. And he says,
We were
"Thank
close.
you to the Civil War General Parrish dude, Edgar or whatever." It's harvest time. It's harvest time.
That's one of my quotes because that is iconic.
Yeah, my next two scenes are the grocery store and the attic scene. The final attic scene.
Oh, dang. Okay.
I skipped way ahead. There's a ton that happened, like the stampede. You get the Van Pelt.
Peter cheating and turning into a monkey.
Peter cheating and turning into the monkey.
But
the
grocery store scene, I think we've got the same. So it's like them setting the traps for Van Pelt, and for some reason, another one that's kind of two parts of that's kind of seared into my brain again. Includes the laundry detergent on the floor and kind of the slippery sound and like the squeaking sound. A lot of squeaks in this movie.
A lot of squeaks.
And then him like slipping and sliding in it, and then of course the price check, and he gets hit with the laser in the eye, which is dumb, but still kind of funny.
No sale. And then that's the very like Home Alone thing to me. But then them like getting hit with all those tires and like getting chased down with a row of tires, man. Also, him getting crushed at the end with the paint cans. That's very Home Alone. Just like
Well, then you've got that kind of that Michael Bay moment where his hand comes through.
Oh yeah. How about him just getting? Well, I'll talk about it later. That's in my my WTF scene.
So after this, you skipped right to the attic.
Yeah, I went straight to the attic. I didn't include the. I didn't include. Yeah, the attic is the end. Yeah. So anything else that you have?
I just got one in between, and that's just because I really was struck by this visual. I thought it was really well done, and that's when they walk back into the house to keep playing, and all the plants have taken over. When the plant had matured. I just thought like that was beautiful. I know it's almost like a beautiful madness. It's just that it was taking over that house, but it just looked so visually stunning, just so different than anything I've ever seen, especially in like a home setting where you expect, especially a rich home setting, you expect everything to be pretty, white and clean, but then you've got, all these plants have taken over, and then they start playing the game. Of course, they've got the rapids and all that shit that happened, but yeah, the attic scene is my next one after that.
Yeah, I like all of the that I love the practical effects of things. And I'm not, saying that I'm so anti like computer generated and everything. It has its place and stuff. But man, you can tell when people put a lot of hard work into those practical effects, whether it is the puppetry of the bat or even the lion that's lying in the bed, or the puppetry of those plants and how they work. They just look so cool, and you can feel them. Like you see them on screen and you know what that feels like, like when he's wrapping the door with the vines. Do you remember
Oh
when he
yeah,
wraps
yeah.
the door handle? Yeah, like that kind of stuff really sticks out, and a lot of hard work went into that. So I think that's super cool, and you have a great point that it is kind of beautiful in its own way.
And yeah, if you want to go ahead and hit that attic scene with me.
Yeah, the attic is where I guess after they walk in, after they see all the plant has taken over the house, they go to the attic because it's not taken over by the plants and everything, and they decide to play. And then this is the quicksand scene, where he just falls
Yep.
in, and they keep trying to pull him out. And then is it Peter that gets the great idea to roll so that it'll go to the next thing in the game? And we get, what do we get from Peter in that? The monsoon? No, we get something else before that.
The spiders?
The spiders.
No, the monsoon, I think, is before the spiders.
No,
I don't remember.
because I think somebody said, are anybody confused by the actual board design? Because what are those paths? I've got something on that too. Whenever we talk about the game design.
My argument against that is like it doesn't matter. You don't even have to understand the paths because it moves for you.
Yeah. It moves for you, and the game is designed to make you not finish the game. That's one thing I think we have to realize. This game does not want you to finish ever.
Well, it's correct.
Because honestly, how many turns do they all take? 3, 4, 5,
Not
4
a lot,
tops?
yeah.
4 turns. That's it. That's all we see. It's a very short game.
Yeah.
You could end this game in less than 3 or in 3 turns. I'm pretty sure is what I found out. That's the least amount of turns you can end this game in. No, we get the quicksand, we get the spiders, which the spiders were very funny looking, but very gross. And
I went back and forth on that. Like they were like insanely wild looking. yeah. But at the same time, like you said, they got these like hairy legs and like stuff dripping from their fangs. So
yeah, that was a little gross at times, but yeah, seeing them like scurry off was kind of laughable. We get the monsoon. The earth begins to quake. Is that just like when the house splits?
Yeah,
and then we get the monsoon.
I could have swore the monsoon was earlier, but doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Put them in your mouth. Please put them in. Like,
oh yeah.
Put them in your mouth.
Dude. Insane. But so then we get to like the end, and this is the scene I've got because it was one of the effects that I thought was actually really well done and a lot cooler like than I remembered it. And that was like when Van Pelt shows back up, and he's talking all this shit as a villain does, and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do now? I'm about to kill you." And he's got his gun, and he fires, and the bullet and this is after Alan had rolled, and the bullet stops like right in front of Sarah and Alan as he shot it, and I thought like that was really cool. And then everything starts getting sucked back, which was awesome. And then it kind of goes. After that, not to speed ahead too much, but the father, like now that I'm a dad, the father and son apologizing to each other hit a little bit harder this time. I was like, oh, damn, like, yeah, you don't ever want to leave on bad terms like that. And it was just like, he just instantly ran up and gave him a hug, and dad was like, what the fuck are you doing? I've been gone 5 minutes. But yeah, I thought it was just, I don't know, it hit a little harder.
Yeah. Do you think the bullet stopping scene inspired the Wachowskis whenever they made The Matrix? Because that's what it made me think of, is The Matrix. Where
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. We do have a very interesting question in the chat that I would like to get your opinion on.
What game would be the most fun to get Jumanji into?
A board game, right?
Yeah, I think so. We can just do board games.
I mean, Candyland wouldn't be the worst.
Candyland sounds like a pretty cool place.
I'm just saying.
I mean, I live life, so I'm basically
Well,
in that
fair
one
enough.
right
Yeah,
now.
we don't need to do that again.
Monopoly, I could win like $250 from a beauty contest if I just get on the right day. Ooh, 13 Dead End Drive.
13 Dead End Drive. I remember that shit. Or Mousetrap.
Don't Wake Daddy.
How is this the second mention of this fucking board game since I've been on this stream? That's
Which
insane. Don't Wake Daddy, because that's what I accidentally called.
Daddy.
What I accidentally called that Macaulay Culkin movie.
Oh yeah, that's right. Getting even with Dad. Don't Wake Daddy.
So bad.
Yeah, board game.
I think that's the one I got to go with. I got to go with Candyland, man.
What about Mousetrap? How fun would Mousetrap be?
Would
Mr.
it?
Bucket.
Like, what? Your prize is cheese. I just eat candy at Candyland.
No, I think Candyland is a good answer. Mr. Bucket, you put the balls in his mouth. Mr. Bucket, the balls come out of my mouth.
Did you ever play a game growing up called, I think it was Big John?
Big John? No,
Yeah,
I've never heard of Big John.
It was a toilet, and you rolled the dice to see how many of these, what they called scuzz balls. They were little green balls that you poured into the toilet. And the amount that you rolled was how many flushes you had to flush them. And if, I don't remember after that, if like he spit them out or what. I don't know. It was some crazy shit.
Man, now I'm just trying to think of all these old school games.
Well, sorry wouldn't be fun at all. You're just looking trouble.
I'm looking back. I'm looking back at the board games I have, like Clue. I don't think that would be fun because somebody's got to die. Although the movie was very funny. No, I think Candyland's a good answer. That would be the ultimate place. It's got to be Candyland.
Yeah, there's no better option.
And there's no real villain in Candyland. Nobody dies in Candyland. There's no go back. I'm going to say Mall Madness, like the basic bitch I am.
Bro, I played that with my sisters so much growing up. That brings back a lot of memories. That's a good one, too. Mall Madness would be good.
There was another game that's not like Mall Madness. It was called Girl Talk, and my sisters played this game. And it was basically like truth. It was like Truth or Dare, I think. And they had these red zit stickers that you had to put on your face whenever you didn't complete something.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's
I can talk about kids games like this.
Dude, no kidding.
Yeah, screw the movie.
So we finished the scenes of the movie. I actually have 3 big questions, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, you want to go for it? Let's go for it. Let's get into it. You want me to roll the dice? You want me to roll the big question?
Tape.
That beautiful bean footage. Let's do that. Here we go.
Answer the question.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Okay, but the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, they're chap lips.
They're chap lips, right?
Does that answer your question?
Good question, Aguada.
No, that's the most important question to which I hope to find an answer.
That's the big question.
Okay. So I will ask you the one that actually would work for this. The other 2, one of them's rhetorical, the other one's But which, and we kind of touched on it a little bit, but which consequence of the game was the worst or most terrifying for you? I know you mentioned them big ass mosquitoes, but I don't know. What do you think?
I think okay, so I do think that I'm going to go with the mosquitoes because of the damage that. Well, besides the monkeys, I think the stampede. Gosh, I forgot about the stampede. The mosquitoes like hurt like 50 people. Isn't that what the EMT said? Oh, it's another one of those weird bites.
Yeah, it's been like 50 this week or something. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
hey, yeah. So those guys are getting around.
Okay, because I think I'm gonna go with the plant things because that seems freaky. Like you can't even like go to sleep without thinking a plant thing is gonna come and friggin' fold your ass up.
I mean, chat makes the best point. Getting sucked into a
Ooh.
game and losing your childhood is
Had,
probably the
had
worst
it-
one.
how did that not even register to me as a punishment? Like, of course it is. Yeah, that's the answer. That's the answer.
Yeah, okay, guys, we get it. I don't need 4 comments from the freaking chat telling me that I had a dumb answer. Let's take that one out,
I
and
think
then
I
what's the
think
worst one?
it's a dumb question. I think is what we're getting at. So let me move on to the other one. If you were his age, Alan's age at the time, heard the noise, found the game, etc., would this have happened to you? Like, would you have started the game?
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, I'm just
No
making sure I
doubt.
wasn't alone.
No doubt. I mean, you have to. You have to play the game. You found it in the freaking ground in a safe that you unlock. Like, it's got drums. That sounds cool
Yeah,
enough for me to start playing.
it
And then when
looked.
like the little magnetic stuff and it starts working on its own, all that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in.
you think you struck friggin' gold? You hit the jackpot and finding this game. I get it. I get it. I'm the same way. I definitely would have done it. And then the last question is kind of rhetorical, and somebody kind of brought it up in the chat, and I'm glad they did. Why don't they just play the game faster instead of waiting on all the consequences? Just start rolling that shit quick.
I mean, yeah, but as soon as that stuff happens, like you're kind of, I don't know.
They waited too
You
long.
raise a good point. They did wait too long between turns to start going, but that just adds all those things to it. So you're still playing. These things are happening regardless of whether you roll the dice or not. Like, so you just still have to deal with those consequences. So it's better if there is a stampede coming to be able to get out in front of it instead of just waiting there for the stampede to kill you and then you're dead.
Fair. Okay, fair enough. I'll concede that. Another good one in the chat.
What rewards would be necessary for you to knowingly risk playing the game? A hug from my father?
Oh my god. So I'm gonna go with not that. I'm gonna go with I feel like there's a certain amount of money like that. I don't even know if it would be that much, unfortunately. I think for 100 grand I might hit it up.
Time travel? No. It's not. Is there time travel?
No. I
No.
mean, in a way, I think you could argue that Alan's younger self did.
I'm not gonna lie. The thought of like getting a hug from your father and him telling you that he loves you is a great reward.
For getting that one hug from my uncle is fantastic.
Jesus. These are all good. These are all very good. I like this. This is a fun one.
And I will say, just kind of as a side note, I did like all the rhymes that the game spit out. I don't know why. I thought it added to the whimsy of it.
It's because you're a rapper at heart. You love a rhyme.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
Absolutely. All right. Who's your favorite character?
Definitely.
Or is there somebody that stole the
What?
scene? Or is there somebody that's a scene stealer?
I've actually got one for both, and I mean the same one for both, and that would be Carl Soulman Bentley.
He was my scene stealer. I definitely had him.
I just loved him.
I don't think I could pick out a favorite character, and that's not to say that like they're not good or the characters aren't good in this movie. I just think everybody's really good in this movie. Like they're all kind of like equal playing field. Everybody's kind of got their own roles to play, and I think they did good. Like this is truly a movie that I do not think Robin Williams is like stealing the show or outshining anybody in. And
no.
All right, let's go. Let's do some quotes.
Okay, I was gonna say if you did want me to have to pick out like an actress or actor that was bad, I guess maybe Alan's mom because she's not that memorable, but it's not her fault.
The monkey with the gun.
Monkey with the okay. Oh my god.
So somebody said when the kid turned into the monkey, I instantly disliked him. Probably an uncanny valley thing. His mouth does. His mouth looks like a butthole because he can't because the prosthetics won't let him move his mouth. It's just permanent.
And his nose is this big. And
Yeah, it
him
looks like
complaining
that.
about his tail. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, come on. Judy! I'm gonna start saying that randomly now. Oh, so okay. So I got a lot of quotes because, of course, I do. And the first one I've got is, "Oh no, the game thinks I rolled," and the other person says, "What do you mean the game thinks?"
Thinks the game
Oh,
thinks. Put it away, Alan.
my game. Oh, sorry. And then there's actually two instances of this next line, and it's mainly the way that Robin Williams delivers it, to be honest. And it's when he says, "In the jungle, you must wait until the dice read 5 or 8."
In the jungle, you must wait. Did one of you roll a 5 or an 8?
And then he hugs him. You can see the kid laughing a little bit as he's spinning him around.
So funny. I like when Alan, when they're like, you're just too scared to play the game, and then he comes back with one of the most terrifying monologues in the movie. You think that
That was harrowing.
mosquitoes, monkeys, and lions are bad? That's just the beginning. I've seen things that you've only seen in your nightmares, things you can't even imagine, things you can't even see. There are things that hunt you in the night, then something screams. Then you hear them eating and hope to God that you're not dessert. Afraid? You don't even know what afraid is. You would not last 5 minutes without me. So who knows what is in Jumanji that did not come out of the game?
That's why you talking about the animated series intrigues me so much, because if that's what you said, they go back into where he was at, then it, I mean, I'm sure it doesn't get that dark, but
Yeah.
it's interesting because you don't know.
Jumanji animated rewatch, everyone, uncles.
But I mean, it does make you think though, because they only roll, a finite number of turns, and then who knows what else the game could spit out? Like, what could it even possibly think of next? It's wild.
What's another quote you got?
I got when Alan comes back and he's actually talking to Carl. He said, "What year is it?" And Carl, he thought he was talking about his car. He said, It was brand new." He said, "No, what year is it?"
1995. Remember?
It's in Kirsten Dunst. You know what? Maybe I didn't hate Kirsten Dunst as
You
much
really
as I
don't
thought.
hate her.
Kirsten Dunst said, "What happened to you? Did you shave with a piece of glass?" And and then Robin Williams said, "What happened to you? The Clampets have a yard sale?"
Which is super funny. You know he came up with that off the top of his dome.
Oh, had to.
And then I looked at what she was wearing and I go, not bad. Not a bad insult.
Yeah,
Good
it
for
was
him.
pretty good.
Good for him.
She was wearing overalls or something.
Peter, take the suitcase up to the attic, then we can all have ice cream and bourbon.
Oh, I did like that one too. I did like that.
Was awesome.
That was good.
Yeah. The only other one that I had was stop giving me things that come apart. Whenever they're trying to save him from the quicksand, they give him a trombone.
Yeah.
And that hat rack.
The trombone does crack me up because, come on.
Stop giving me things that.
I've got another Kirsten Dunst. It's, "I'm sorry, dear, you have the wrong number."
What's interesting about that one I read is that in the French Canadian release of it, she's speaking Spanish.
Oh yeah,
I think
something like that. Yeah,
and then in the Spanish version, or French. It's one of the two. I can't remember, but they just switch up the language altogether.
It makes sense.
Any other quotes?
Oh yeah, but some of them we've already touched on, so I'll skip those. One of them includes Judy, but another one is when Van Pelt goes to the gun store and the shop owner says, "You're not a postal worker, are you?" And I thought that was really, really clever. And then, of course, there was Sarah that talking to Kirsten Dunst that says, "You just saw 3 monkeys go by on a motorcycle, didn't you?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Good girl. Come on." And for some reason, the one line that I will always associate with this movie, again, I'm going back to when the plant gets Carl's car. He says, "Fine, take it."
That's good. Couple things in chat. What would be a good Jumanji house rule? I don't know how this one's hard.
House rule.
Free parking?
Well, obviously, no stopping play in the game.
Like, ooh, yeah.
No cheating. That's not really house rule, though.
That one's tough.
Can you
'Cause
even?
there's no real
I don't know how you would
time.
do house rules. Yeah,
Is Kirsten Dunst cute, or are we just programmed to think she is? I think Kirsten Dunst in the '90s was awesome. I think she's so good. We've seen
like
her 3 times now in the past 6 months with Interview with a Vampire, in Little Women, and then this one. I think she's so good. And I'm glad that she
Bring It On.
Bring It On is
Was that 90?
that comes out in 5 years, or I think it's 2000. That's either 99 or 2000. I think she's so good, and I'm glad that she is still she ended up being at least somewhat of a well-adjusted child actor that ended up being in other. So I don't know.
That's a good point. She had a hard road ahead of her because, the track record of child actors is not
Yeah,
great.
I mean, also super. She got in the Spider-Man franchise or 2 in 2001, and yeah, I don't know.
I will say, I think I do. I would say, I don't know. In my opinion, I'm not going down this road. Okay, let's go to another quote. So it's right when the monsoon starts happening. He, I guess Sarah is the one that she says, "Well, a little rain never hurt anybody," and he said, "Yeah, but a lot could kill you." And that's stuck in my head for a long time because, it's true. I mean, I don't know. I just like it.
I also think it's funny that he just puts a jacket over his head. And he knows what's coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna get under here. You need to be dry, and then he ends up in the water with the crocodiles, not alligators, because crocodiles have that.
Of course, and then which I was like, it makes sense because I've learned that you can hold their mouth shut because their mouth going opening doesn't have very strong muscles. It's the closing that does. But then I was like, what if he's on top of him and he just death rolls the whole time? You're gonna drown. But I mean, I guess I should suspend my belief a little bit.
You're smarter than a crocodile or an alligator too.
I doubt that.
I do too. Any other quotes?
No, that's all.
Biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill?
I have 2 laughs and a thrill/scare. So my laugh is face and tail pain. Along with Judy. My other laugh is Alan's face when he's stuck in the floor. Especially with the dice.
Put the dice in your mouth.
And then the biggest thrill or scare for me was when, and I think I might have repressed this a little bit from when I was a child, because watching it again, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that shit. But it was when the elephant and the rhinos crushed the car that Peter was in. That's pretty terrifying because he was on the floorboard, and I was just imagining being crushed like that. I don't know how he wasn't stuck, but that was one of the more terrifying things to me in the entire movie. And it was just a small part, but I was like, God, that car was just flattened.
I thought the firing of a gun in a public place was scarier to me now than it probably used to be. Him shooting in that convenience store, or not convenience store, that department store or whatever,
yeah.
And seeing all those people running around, I was like, I don't like that.
There was a small comedic part in that I didn't write down, but I do remember. Some girl had I don't know what she had, a box of something, and she was trying to put it back when he shot, and the look on her face. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
just I don't know why it was just slightly funny to me, but it was.
I don't know. It's very off-putting now.
Oh,
but just to think about it, that's in every action movie ever, and I don't know why this time around I was watching this. I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I mean, because that's real world problems we got to think about now.
yeah. I liked the laughing scene driving to Sir Save-A-Lot where he's got David Allen Greer, up on the got him handcuffed and he has it. Yeah, I like that. I thought that was pretty funny.
That was good.
WTF or ridiculous moment?
I have got 4.
4. Okay, I've got 1.
So one of them was just, to me, kind of like blatant product placement. And that was when Kirsten Dunst's character said, "I'm going to Motel 6." I'm like, how much do they pay to get your name mentioned? Because it seemed really forced and like a super shitty one-liner attempt. I was like, that was a dumb line. Like, take that out.
They leave the lights on for you though.
Yeah, whatever. I wonder if I think I can guess yours.
What do you think it is?
I think it's the same one I've got, and that's when Alan tricked Sarah into rolling the dice. Because what the fuck, dude? Like, you know how fucked up that is? Like, and then his little laugh afterward. He's like, like, dog, you just like, I mean, basically, like, without her consent, was just like, here, yeah, hand me the dice. Oop.
It's dice rolling. He needed her to roll the dice.
It's not just dice rolling, though. This game has way more consequences than just dice rolling. She needed to agree to play the game. He fucked up, okay?
I just think that you had to get... There was too much going on around them. They needed to finish the game.
I get it, but you don't mess with somebody like that. Like, she was fine. She was living life fine. And then he was like, oh, yeah, fuck you. Like, I'm going to force you to roll, essentially.
But then she gets mad later when she finds out that he didn't want to play the game either.
Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you.
They trick him into playing the game. So are you mad at the kids, too?
Well, I mean, they trick in... Yeah. You know what? Fuck it. I'm mad at the kids. Yeah.
Got him. All right. No, mine was no waiting period on the gun. And the reason this is ridiculous is because I know this fucking happens more than it should. This is like going to a gun convention and just being like, oh, yeah, there's no waiting period because we're here. We're all
exactly
here.
What it is.
Yeah. No.
Speaking of guns, I've also, my next one is Van Pelt's comically large gun. The first one he hit. I mean, the second one's fun. Though. But yeah, I know. But it was hilarious how large it was.
That second gun he gets is huge, like, and unnecessary.
Yeah. And then, of course, one we've already talked about in the last one. It's the weird looking spiders and that whole scene of them like kicking them around and stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes my other things is like some of the CGI just doesn't look like. I don't know when it was. I think it was early in the movie with Sarah. She's like looking down at Alan's like body, like swirling around. She goes, and you can tell she's having to yell at nothing. She's just having to scream at nothing.
Yeah.
While they're just kind of directing her. I was like, that's kind of bad.
And that's kind of another credit to like those child actors too, because not only are you being an actor as a child, but you're also having to act a lot without anything around you, like because they're doing CGI. Like that's hard for adults to do, not just. I don't know. So I am impressed with that.
Okay, let's see here. Best music moment or score. The score was done by James Horner, just to give him a shout out to that. Maybe he was responsible for the drums. I don't know. That's really the only part that I remember is the drums. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, of course I've got the drums down, but there's a sound engineering part. This one's not necessarily a music part, just kind of sound engineering that I loved. Whenever they added like the squeak of the kids, it goes back to squeaks. But whenever they add like the squeaks to the kids' shoes when they run up the stairs, Judy and Peter, whenever they find the game, like you hear the squeaks and you hear like the echoes of the squeaks within the house. I thought it added like a really hollow feel to the empty mansion and just kind of, I don't know, it struck me as kind of deep with that. So I really like the sound engineering on that. There's also and it's not anything I can describe because I'm very bad at music and anything music related. But there's like an iconic Jumanji only tune that is in this film. If I hear it, I would recognize it, but I couldn't sing it back for you, if you know what I'm saying. So, does that sound familiar to you at all?
Jumanji only. The only song I remembered before rewatching this was the "Night and Day." Night and day. Whenever she's like decorating the house, that's the only part I
Oh
remember.
yeah, I do. Yeah, that one was good too.
But no, I don't know if I know that.
Okay.
I also wanted to point out the Gilligan's Island theme song.
Oh
That
yes, that was good.
that he's. I thought that was pretty good and topical because of him, coming from 1969. So good for them.
Well,
Good for
topical
them
too,
doing it.
because he was essentially, lost at sea, if you will, into the
Very
board
true.
game.
Yeah. Do you think the kids from Jurassic Park would do well in Jumanji?
Oh, that's tough. That's real tough. I think they would. I think they'd fare well. I think they're on par.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, you ready for F Mary Kill?
No, with fucking
Why?
who?
I've got three for both. I've got three for the genders here that we have.
Insane.
All right, your choices are, and if we can get some F Mary Kills in the chat, that'd be great. Sarah Whittle, Aunt
Hey.
Nora, Carol Parrish. That's the mom.
Yeah, Carol's super forgettable. That's tough. I don't even remember what she looks like. I gotta see. Carol Parrish.
They're all like three very famous actresses now.
What's Carol Parrish's name?
Carol Parrish is it not Virginia Madsen? I always do this. Patricia Clarkson.
Okay, I found her.
The Vines, the Monsoon, and the Earthquake.
I'm gonna.
I need to start having a list to do F Mary Kills because I only do people.
That is a pretty good one by Alyssa. I think I'm gonna kill Carol. And I think I'm gonna take Nora out for a good time, and Sarah seems like a ride or die, so I'll probably marry Sarah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's the appropriate order, and that's what I would have done as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, maybe going back to F Mary Kill. What is the relationship between Sam and Carol Parrish? Because he's kind of mean to her early on, in the early scenes when she was like, Sam, and he like yells at her, and she goes, Sam, what? Like, I don't know. He seems kind of rough.
I don't know. I think he's just stressed out about his speech.
Yeah, you think so? Give him
Yeah, but also that's like classic old, man and woman typical gender stereotypes. Like, he makes all the money and she's just a housewife and he's allowed to be mean to her. You know how the movies portray that.
Despicable.
It is.
We don't deal in those social norms here. All right. What about Alan, Carl, and Sam?
Oh God, that's tough. Dang, that's tough. I'm gonna stray from this a little bit. I think this one's gonna be different than what you want to do, because I'm gonna go ahead and kill Alan.
Yeah,
I'm putting him out of his misery. Like he doesn't need this anymore, man. And then this next one's tough though, because like, do you go with the money or do you go with the nice guy? And I think you F the money and marry the nice guy. That's what I'm going with. Money ain't everything, my guy.
I'm going with I'm gonna marry Sam and F Alan and kill Carl because ACAB.
He wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been one if he wouldn't have been for Alan. Alan's fault. He was one in the first place. He would have been the founder of Nike.
Yeah, that's what you think.
Well, no.
That's what you know. No, let's go back to that one. I like that one. F, Mary, Kill. Vines, Monsoon, Earthquake. I like that one.
Ooh, okay. The vines are getting killed because that's kind of scary, man.
Dag. That's funny.
I think I'm gonna F the monsoon and marry the earthquake because the
Why?
earthquake seems the least terrifying, and the monsoon's just so wet. It's ready.
I know the monsoon is super wet. That one's definitely the F for me. I feel like earthquakes are very. I don't know. The vines seem like very loving and very like constricting, like a hug, Like,
I'd like to
and I
be.
feel like that's a nice marry.
That's fair enough. See, I was thinking I wouldn't mind being earthquake to bed every night. Just
The
yeah.
magic fingers.
I think that would
There's
be
just too
okay.
many cracks and crevices in the
There
earthquake.
don't have to be though. You can get to a space that there's not a whole lot of cracks.
I guess it's true. It just feels so uneven. So I think I'm killing the. I think I'm killing the earthquake.
Fair enough. I don't like you marrying the vines though, but hey, you did it for the vine.
I did it for the Vine. Let's bring back Vine. Screw TikTok. Let's bring back Vine.
Yeah,
That's where it was.
ain't gonna do
All
it.
right. Who delivered the standout performance?
Well, I mean, Robin Williams, especially with him holding back his improv. But I will give honorable mention to Bonnie Hunt. I think she did a great job. Like I said, misunderstood her as a child. As an adult, makes a lot more sense, and she reacted appropriately. So that is what I'm sticking with.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Earthquake. Is what I said. It was the best performance.
I don't know why I thought you were about to say Eartha Kitt. I was like, sir,
Eartha Kitt.
sir.
I had sex with Eartha Kitt in the airplane bathroom one time. No, I'm gonna say Kirsten Dunst. I think I'm on the Dunst train. I'm a part of the Dunst bunch. I think she's great. I think she's so good. And
Brooks and Dunst.
Brooks and Dunst. I mean, I'm on board that train. All right,
The slow
recasting.
line.
Did you do
Okay.
Did you do any recasting?
Listen,
95 or 2025?
I'm so bad at these, but I tried. I did.
I love it.
So 1995, I only went with Alan and Sarah. So for Alan, I went Val Kilmer or Bill Pullman.
Ooh, I like Bill Pullman.
That's one I like better too. And for Sarah Wood, I went Winona Ryder.
Winona Ryder. Okay. She's been in
she
a
could
lot of
react.
our 90s movies. Oh, yeah. She can do anything.
She could be good. And then you go ahead. Yeah, 1995.
95, I went with some of the people that they were like trying to get. Like, they did want Tom Hanks to be Alan. That was like their number one pick for this. But I thought Michael Keaton might be good in this. He kind of has a weird 90s, like mid to late 90s. This is better than Jack Frost. I think he would have been great in this. He gets nuts,
Yeah. Did you get one for Sarah too, or no?
Another one I picked was like Kirstie Alley. She was actually supposed to be in this, but instead she did It Takes Two with the Olsen twins instead of this movie. So I liked Bonnie Hunt though. I thought Bonnie Hunt was really well. Also, Tim Curry was supposed to be in the role of Van Pelt.
I could get down with that actually.
Yeah, just Van Pelt. The dad was always supposed to be the dad.
Well, another one that was, and you mentioned Tom Hanks. I just don't know if that would have worked very well, to be honest. I don't. I like Tom Hanks, but
yeah. If you go with Kirstie, you got to get Tim. Okay.
Yeah.
Tim Allen, I can see.
Another one that was supposed to also be considered was Bruce Willis, but he was filming Die Hard with a Vengeance, which we'll see later. But I don't think that would have worked either. I'll be honest. Obviously, I think they made the right choice.
Yeah, I agree. Even though he does, like I said, this is a weird Robin Williams movie. He doesn't really get to be Robin Williams. It's mostly action.
Well, and I think that's a testament to his acting skills to be able to pull back like that.
I agree. Any 2025 people?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I feel like the obvious thing to do would be to have the kids, the in the OG one play the older, Alan and Sarah. But
Yeah.
I still made other choices instead. For Alan, I did Walking Phoenix, and
Okay.
then for Sarah, I did Kerry Washington,
Okay.
and then the kids will be played by Big Justice and the Rizzler. So just as one will.
Incredible. The Rizzler in this movie would be
Could you
so
imagine? Oh, did you say a lion?
throwing that Riz face at him. Replace the cop car with Lightning McQueen. I like that. I said I only cast Alan and Sarah, but I tried to do multiples for each, and I said Andy Samberg for Alan, Eric Andre for Alan, maybe.
No, absolutely not.
I think he could do it.
Hell no.
Especially him coming out of the jungle, like him, like crazy haired and like wild.
It would just, he can't. I don't think he can pull it back like that.
I think he can. I've seen him be normal, not just
Have
Eric
you?
Andre from the Eric Andre show. You know?
Well, there was that other. What was that other show he had? It was like that prank show with him and Tiffany Haddish and Hannibal
Yeah.
Buress.
He was also, but before any of that, he was in a sitcom called the Don't Trust the Bee in the Apartment 23. He was in that too.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
He was normal. He was no. He can play. He's an actor. He can do anything.
I know.
I also said Jake Johnson, who I honestly think between him and Andy Samberg would probably be the best choices for it.
I'm not sure I know who that is. What's he been in?
He's a new girl. You'll recognize him.
I do recognize his face.
Yeah. Also, Kirsten Dunst would be a great Sarah, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good. Kristen Bell is another one I put in there, or Gillian Jacobs from Community. Got to get a Community shout out every once in a while in this, especially when you're wrong. You love when I talk about
every time. Although you did pull through with the last Community reference.
The last one was a good reference. That was a good reference. Jesus whipped. All right, let's get some fun facts about this movie.
I got a bunch, man.
I got some too. Shane Gillis.
Ooh, Shane Gillis. So there are no opening credits other than the title, which is I don't think is something I noticed until I saw that fast fact. I didn't really realize it, but then that's what I was talking about earlier, like how it just came out, came out guns blazing. They didn't waste any time with the credits, which was definitely a thing of the time. The same writer as Die Hard with a Vengeance, that's also coming up. Also the same executive producer as Con Air, Armageddon, and Gone in 60 Seconds. The other writer, Jim Strain, also wrote the reboot.
Okay.
The Parish Shoes sign, also hard to say, is still on display in Keene, New Hampshire. The city also gave Robin Williams the keys to the city and memorialized him after his death in 2014.
That's nice. Yeah, apparently he was.
I'll let you go ahead and put on.
Yeah, apparently he was really like the people in that town really like he took to the people in that town. So that's pretty cool. The line where Peter says, "Of course she'll know where Sarah went. She's a psychic." That was improvised. So good on that kid. The word Jumanji is actually Zulu for many effects, which alludes to the exciting consequences of the game. The rhino that we've mentioned in this was lagging behind was actually an animation error and different frame rate that was left in, but they enhanced it by giving him wheezing sounds to make that rhino have some personality. So very funny.
And they named him Sneezy.
Wheezy or Sneezy?
Sneezy.
Sneezy. Didn't know this. When the game punished Peter for attempting to cheat, his token actually gets sent back to the beginning.
I did not notice that either.
The age of...
Wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The age of some of the people in this movie are a little bit crazy because Carl Bentley is an adult when Alan is a child. In real life, David Alan Grier is 4 years younger than Robin Williams. He's also 10 years older than Bonnie Hunt in this, so...
Dang.
Yeah, crazy. Only the game who the game chooses is who can hear the drums. I didn't know that. Oh, okay. This is one of the things. So the game piece, or like the path to where the pieces get to the middle, are actually uneven. Sarah and Judy, where they start, they actually have 35 spaces to get to the middle, while Alan has 33 spaces to get to the middle, and Peter has 32. Talk about patriarchy, am I right? Making the woman
what the
try
hell?
twice as hard just to get to the middle. Come on now, that's dumb.
Classic.
Yeah. Also, in early drafts, the purple flower that shoots out the barbs, the poisonous barbs, was gonna kill Aunt Nora. That was an actual plot line in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
you know what? I could see it.
This movie would have been a much darker movie if that was the.
Well, yeah. I've got some more. So while filming the stunt where the monkey steal a police car, stuntwoman Betty Thomas Q lost control of the car and hit a tree at 60 miles per hour. Luckily, she wasn't injured, and the director had to plead with paparazzi who filmed the accident not to release it to the news. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but didn't kind of give a whole lot of specifics. Bradley Pierce underwent 3 hours of applying prosthetic makeup for his scenes as a monkey for about 15 to 20 days, and he actually enjoyed going through the process, which is wild to me, and enjoyed wearing the makeup. Usually you hear quite the opposite. They get very sick and tired of it, but I guess him being a kid, he thought it was pretty fun.
That's crazy.
This was maybe the most interesting part for me, and that was that it's still, and I had to do extra research on it because I couldn't believe it, especially in this day and age of information on the internet. It is not known who played the gun shop owner's assistant, Luis, in the movie, and the actress is not credited in the end credits. And to this day, the actress's identity remains a mystery. I thought somebody would have found her.
That's weird. That is very weird.
Insane.
So, did Judy die from the?
Judy. No.
I always thought she fell asleep. I always thought it made her fall asleep, but we don't see her though. She could have died.
You see her at the end.
Do we?
Yeah, whenever they're having that party.
But that's because all the effects of the game have been taken away.
Yeah, so isn't that present day shit?
No, I'm saying she died in that timeline or whatever. And then once they beat the game, she doesn't even exist anymore. Because it transports them all back to 1969.
Yeah.
She might have died. Now, I've never thought about that. That's weird.
I haven't either. I don't think she died. I'm not choosing to believe that.
I did wonder about this when at the end of this movie, they don't really explain that they know these kids or whatever, but they make it a point to say we have to remember Peter and Judy because apparently they're already forgetting parts of what had happened with the game.
Oh,
and they put that line in at the end, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, and then Judy and Peter's parents are like, yeah, we're going on vacation in Canada. No, and I thought that was pretty funny. So we talked about Jumanji, the game being popular, and one screen used board was sold in 2014 for $60,000 on eBay.
Would you buy it if you had millions of dollars? Would you buy that board game?
Probably not. I'll be honest.
I'd own it. I think that'd be a really cool thing to own.
Not that guy.
Maybe. All right, Like a Fine Wine and Dish. If you could pair this movie with another movie.
No, I'm not done.
God, Spencer.
Never. You know what? Fuck it. I'm done.
Kidding.
Fuck it. Okay. I've got a lot, unfortunately, and one of them is I thought was really cool.
Say it.
I'll say it. So the two children apparently who find the game at the end are named Walter and Danny, although I don't think they ever say their names. But those are the main characters' names from Zathura.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, get fucked. That was interesting. So when Van Pelt enters the gun store, the music playing on the radio is the Mexican national anthem. When the film was released in Mexico, a different song played on the radio because in Mexico it's not legal to play the national anthem for commercial or comedic purposes. To which I say, open up the safe, bitch, I got a lot to
Open
say.
up the stage, bitch, I got a lot to say.
And that's just for you. Roger Ebert, of course, criticized the film for being marketed as a family film while being too scary for children, and Robin Williams also wouldn't let his children watch it. Oh, come on. While I'm trying to run through these, while on the Jay Leno show promoting this film, Robin Williams said about the video effects, some are computer generated, but a lot of animatronics, which are like puppets on steroids. One day I was wrestling this crocodile and I hit it on the head. All of a sudden I hear from inside, hey, there's a guy going, hey man, it's Tim.
Tim the crocodile.
Made me laugh. I'm surprised you didn't mention this actually, and maybe you did and I just didn't hear it. When the monkeys are charging down the street and stop in front of the AV store to watch the TV, the scene playing is the flying monkeys attack from the Wizard of Oz.
I did always like that when they start jumping up and down like the monkeys. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. This is not completely related, but something I found while doing this research. I thought it was very interesting because I didn't know any state that this applied to, but New Hampshire is one of the few U.S. states without a zoo. So who knew?
I did not know that. Who knew?
And I did notice this. Peter looks directly at the camera after he tries to break the padlock of the shed with the axe.
You didn't know he did that?
And I watched it. He fucking did it. And why? Like, was he supposed to break the fourth wall like that? Because it kind of worked.
He's supposed to.
Okay, I thought it might have been an accident.
No.
Okay, and then the last one. This last one is the one I really liked. And I looked all on the internet and I couldn't find a clip of it. So I just got to take their word for it. At the end of the film, Alan and Sarah give Judy and Peter a Christmas gift. But I don't think they open it. But in the theatrical version, they open it to reveal new sneakers called Jumanjis, which is really cool.
But it was cut, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, they said in the theatrical version that it was in there.
I don't remember that.
You would know. You wouldn't watch it.
I know I watched it, and I don't remember that.
You don't have a pair of Jumanji?
All right, like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
I think this was actually the first time I kind of struggled with this question. So obviously we've mentioned Zathura. I think that's kind of a logical of that same genre, if you want to call it. I got three. One of them's more current. That's Night at the Museum.
Yeah, I got Night at the Museum.
I think the vibe is just, it feels a little similar. I don't know how to explain it. The other two I've got kind of follow the same, I don't even know if you want to call it sci-fi, just kind of out of this realm type thing, wild things that would happen. And that's Big with Tom Hanks and Matilda.
I can see that. I could see Big, especially like him coming back and being older and also kind of trying to be being a kid at certain moments. Yeah, I like that.
That one makes the most sense. And then I think Matilda would be just another fun kind of whimsical watch.
Yeah. Other than Night at the Museum and the other Jumanji films, I said Goosebumps, the most recent Goosebumps film with Jack Black, where things start coming out of the Goosebumps books and taking over this town. I think that's actually a pretty good one to go with this one. And then Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser. I don't know if you've ever seen that one, but that one's just with like the crazy jungle stuff and everything. I thought that would be a pretty good one.
Okay.
All right.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that you didn't say Pagemaster. I thought, although
I thought about it.
Yeah, it's almost too bad.
Yeah, that's what I was like, I kind of wanted to go with some stuff that was comparable in my mind, and Pagemaster is just not great. Not as great as I thought it was. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this?
That gets 5 big booms.
I actually went with a 3 on this one.
A 3 is insane.
On rewatch?
This movie's rewatchable as hell. It doesn't matter what part of the
I'm
movie
not
it's
going
on.
to
If I
rewatch
see it
this
on
movie for a
TV,
long time.
if I see it on TV, it's coming up.
Well, that's where we're different. We're allowed to have
I'm going to
those.
yell, Judy!
Judy! I can quote it. I can just say Judy all the time, and then
I could not be more disappointed. I really thought you were going to agree with me on it.
no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to watch this movie for a while. My bad. I haven't watched it for probably 10 years. Whatever. All right, what's your overall star rating out of 5?
Overall, I gave it a 4. I was struggling between a 4 and a 3.5, but ultimately decided to give it a little bit of grace because of the effects of the times, and then also the nostalgia that it brought me. So I feel like we've certainly seen worse effects, and nostalgia will always get like a half-star bump for me.
Yeah, I think nostalgia really bumped it up to a 3.5 for me. The CGI is obviously dated, but I think everybody's really good in this movie. I think it's a fun movie. I do like that it's kind of dark for a kids movie, and it's exciting. Like, I was never scared at this movie when I was a kid. I really liked this movie. It was fun.
Yeah,
Fun
and
movie.
I look forward to rewatching it next week.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right. Big thank you goes out to Spencer for doing this. Before we wrap up, have you seen anything recently that you would recommend to your friends?
Not as much as I had originally thought as I was writing this out, but I would definitely recommend The Wild Robot. It is, you probably have to pay to rent or buy it on Amazon Prime, but it won a lot of awards. I think, very good, made me cry. And then, I would absolutely recommend Conclave. I liked that a whole lot. I thought it was fantastic. I'm a super big Ray Fiennes fan, so. And Tucci's in it, so I mean, it was good. It was really good. It's very kind of like drama heavy, dialogue heavy, but it's very, very good. I'm also not watched it yet, but I am excited to start season 2 of Severance. I think
I'm surprised you weren't
no,
watching that.
no. Well, I think I might be waiting for them all to come out because I don't like to be blue balled after one episode and then have to wait and then forget what's going on. So PG recommendation. And then I really want to watch that movie on Hulu that you watched recently with Kieran Culkin. My mom actually recommended it to me, and she really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, that's watched that last night. A Real Pain, really good, really affecting. It's really emotional. No, I liked it a lot. Real Pain, definitely. And then also another coming of age movie that I recommended to a couple people is called Dee Dee. I think it's on like Peacock or Paramount or one of those streaming services. It's another 2024 movie. Coming of age, early 2000s, like MySpace and AOL vibes. So I do recommend that one. That's pretty good.
That one is that one an English film?
Yes, it is.
Not England, but you know what I'm saying.
Yes, it is in English. Okay. Yes, there are parts where it is in. I believe. I think it is in. There are some Chinese subtitles in it. But okay. Yeah.
No. Really and somebody mentioned Wild Robot would be available to stream soon in the chat. I also, if anybody knows, because I've been waiting for the longest time for Flow to come out on streaming. If anybody knows if that will come out soon or what channel it might come out on, I'm really excited to see it. My son has seen the preview for it and really, really wants to watch it.
I do. I know that one's available for rent, but I don't know when that one's going to get an actual streaming date on a platform other than that. Yeah. So, no, I'm excited to see those. I want to see Wild Robot and Flow as well. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, great. We did it. And, of course, you can get all more recommendations and things and chat by joining our Discord server. That is available in the links on the stream. You're also welcome to follow us on Instagram or check out the account on Letterboxd. where I'm friends with some of these people. You can probably find their accounts through my account as well. What is it? Next week, that will be, what is that? The 26th, Sunday, January 26th. We'll be covering Mortal Kombat to finish out our 2-part series. You're in the game. It is. I don't know where Mortal Kombat is streaming right now. I didn't look that up. I probably should have done a better job just to see if that is streaming anywhere. So let me look that up real quick before I let everybody go. It might not be streaming anywhere.
I've actually never seen that.
You've never seen Mortal Kombat? Very cool. Well, I'm glad that we're here. It doesn't look like it's streaming anywhere for free, but you're also welcome to look in other places to see if you can find it, or if you have it on VHS or DVD or anything like that. We'll be doing that. Mortal Kombat 1995. So do check that out. And join us next week. Also, this month, for extra credit, we are doing Hey, I Know You, which means that all the films that we're talking about are films by known directors, well-known directors. Some are in their early stages. Some are very older filmmakers that were very successful. So we're doing Danny Boyle's Shallow Grave, John Singleton's Higher Learning, Wolfgang Petersen's Outbreak, and Sidney Pollack's Sabrina, all very, very different movies. That one will be on Wednesday, January 29th. Also, if you've been following along with 52/1995 music, join us on Tuesdays for that. This week's album is Tiger Lily by Natalie Merchant. Other than that, that's all my housekeeping details. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on 52/1995. Thanks, everybody.